For corpus delicti, you just have to look at the body. If there's a body, there's corpus delicti, and that's just not the rule, Your Honor.
Concept means. For example, I confess that this morning, as I was driving into work, I killed someone on 3rd and Lewis Avenue. All right, now let's say there's no body ever found, there's no video, there's nothing. It's only my statement that I killed someone that makes this crime exist. However, here, that is not in this case, that isn't the case. There is corpus delicti because Mr. Shakur was shot and eventually passed away from his injury, and an autopsy was completed.
Some even question whether Tupac was really cremated the day after he died, reportedly before an autopsy could be conducted. Why were plans for a big public funeral all of a sudden scratched?
From his injury, and an autopsy was completed.
But it's basically because no one else could be trusted, and I was unknown. So that evening, I was in the vicinity. I was just told to be close by, and received information that Pac had been ambushed. And I was just told to wait for further information, and I would receive what to do next. So I got in touch with my brother. He told me that Pac had been ambushed and actually shot for real, and he'd been taken to the UMC. So he told me to just wait for further information. He'd be in touch ASAP. So about a couple of days later, I was speaking to my brother, and he'd had information that Pac was recovering, and I'd heard via the Black Panthers as well that was the case. And Jesse Jackson actually visited Pac while he was recovering in hospital, and my brother was horrified, and I said, "What's up?" And he said, Jackson can't be trusted. We know for a fact he's possibly feeding information back. I fed this information back to the Panthers, and they then decided that they'd better hurry up and fake his death quick, in case they came to finish the job off. A plan was hatched in part of the faking Tupac's death. I was to visit a Dr. James Lovett, and to offer a donation for the hospital where he worked as a premise to get in the door. And once in and chatting, hopefully, especially me being a foreign guy, not known, a bit of a novelty from the UK, it's quite easy to get in his door. I introduced myself. I said, "Hello, I'm Michael Nice. I represent a business consortium who want to make a donation to your hospital." I did actually have an ID and my passport and stuff, and I said, "Look, this is who I am." I've been given paperwork as well, a little badge thing, just to make it look, all legitimate. Anyway, he offered me a drink, which I accepted, and we started talking about, the company's overview, and then I had to stop the conversation. I said, "I'm sorry, doctor." I said, "Can I call you James?" He said, "Yeah, that's fine." I said, I'm sorry, James. I'm basically here to ask you a big favour and to reward you generously." And he said, I'm not sure, you acted all proper. "Oh, I'm not sure, sir, what you're talking about." I said, "Well," and I explained the story. I said, "Look, we need to pronounce someone dead. We basically want to fake his death because there's been an attempt on his life, and if we don't, he will for sure be dead." And he couldn't refuse once I told him the truth. He was willing to help, and I said, we'll make sure you're duly paid, not only to do the job, but never to mention a word. And if you do ever mention a word, you obviously could be in danger. And I actually had a down payment of $50,000 with me in cash, and he said, "Oh no, sir, I don't know if I can take it." And I said, "Look, put it somewhere safe. Just do what you like with it, and there will be more to come, assuming everything goes well." And I explained to him that we wanted everything done proper, all official, as if it was anybody else. And unfortunately, he'd done the job a bit too well, in as much as the only mistake was the body that was provided, which I'll tell you about in a second. The weights and height didn't quite add up, and I don't know who's responsible for it, to be honest. Anyway, talking to my brother, well, I knew anyway, he'd gone to New Mexico with a woman called Gloria Cox. So my brother and Gloria Cox actually obtained a body which was, quite overweight, and the height was out, and obviously a short space of time involved. They thought, well, that'd be overlooked because apparently Afeni Shakur was in on it as well, and she would identify the body as being Tupac. So at the time that didn't seem such a huge detail given the short space of time, and that's basically how it came about. And the big mistake was the doctor was instructed by me to do everything exactly as he should, and unfortunately he did. That was an oversight. It wasn't mentioned that the weights and heights may not be exact, and they were to match Tupac and not the actual dead body. Unfortunately the doctor done his job too well, and that was a big mistake with hindsight. A lot of people didn't pick up on it. The die-hard people who look into the details and search for the evidence found it quite easily. So yes.
David Kenner handling his appeal, his freedom. She sure could have made him lose that appeal. He wanted to take all his money, break him down, and then see where he's at 2 or 3 years later after he finishes his tale that he had still riding.
Yeah, he had lived through it for 7 days. He might not even be fucking dead. You know what I'm saying? That's what everybody's saying. Suge saying that shit.
How about the helicopter girl?
There's a helicopter girl, right? There's her who claimed.
We were kind of pretty far down the street when it happened. We didn't know if we heard gunshots, or we didn't really know exactly what we heard. We heard a lot of screaming, a lot of cars screeching. We were just hanging out, taking photos at the time. We ran up the street as cops were running past us, and by the time we got here, they were already taking, which now I found out was Tupac, into the helicopter away. He had been shot.
It's her who claimed that Tupac was airlifted out of there, but that wasn't true either.
She must have been on one.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on.
The first thing we heard was Suge Knight and Tupac are dead. That was the first thing we ever heard, and I was like, what the fuck? And we were just in awe. He was like, yeah, ambulance just came, they just airlifted Tupac out of here, them niggas is dead.
So at the time of the actual surgery, the body was waiting in the ambulance. The doctor was in the room. Afeni Shakur was present. Gloria Cox was present, and actually the two women had agreed with the doctor that he didn't have to witness the event. He could actually just turn his head, wash his hands or whatever. They quickly switched the bodies, one out of the ambulance, the dead body. Tupac, who'd recovered enough to get about fine by himself, he then transferred to the ambulance, and the next step was to transfer him to an airstrip, again with a Hard Marks connection, one of his showbiz friends. We had a private plane waiting to get Tupac on board. So the next thing that happened was me and my brother met Tupac at the safe house. Also present were two Panthers. They had also brought another woman who was a makeup artist. They brought him a cool pilot's uniform. Park was going to be escorted to the plane by me and my brother and these two Panther guys, and he was going to be the cool pilot, which he was. And I took a couple of looks. They'd done a good job. He looked similar, but you know, at first glance you wouldn't say, oh, that's Park, you know. So yeah, good job. And we were impressed, so we felt comfortable, escorted him to the plane. The two Panther guys were with us, and obviously the pilot was there as well, and we took off and we headed to the Barbados. So me and my brother, the pilot, Park the cool pilot, two Panther guys, we took off, and as we were taking off we were thinking, yeah, successful escape. I felt good. I was almost like escaping from prison. We were all really happy, little hugs and handshakes, and still a little bit of trepidation. Obviously we had to get to Barbados first, safe landing and all the rest of it. You know, authorities and all the rest, we weren't sure what was happening. Were they one step ahead? A very tense moment as well. I think behind all the euphoria, if you like, there was little niggling doubts. Anyway, success to Barbados. Wow, what a journey. and we helped Park escape, and wow, yeah, what a feeling. Anyway, my brother, his next step, he stayed on the journey, escorting Park to Cuba. He got word to me that they successfully arrived, everything was good, and yeah, and you know, at that point I felt good. That was good operation, and everyone was happy. Obviously things happened after, minor details, slip ups, all the rest, but yeah, at the time, great, success. We helped Park escape. So you know, just to end this little section, what I've just told you about the airplane journey, when we got Park on as the co-pilot, I've actually got footage of Park on that plane, and you've all been asking for evidence, real, just one glimpse. I can prove I've got the evidence. Park footage of that incident where we smuggled Park, well, we didn't smuggle him, he was disguised as a co-pilot. That instant where Park was the co-pilot and we took the journey, I've got footage of that journey, Park on the plane. So the thing that happened after that is I met up with the Panther guys, and you know, sort of just a sort of little celebration, if you like, success, well done. And the Panthers sort of respected me because I was a white guy. They was, you know, they're saying, well, what's your interest in all this? And I said, look guys, you know, you got a just cause. I'm all for just causes. I'm all for human rights and you know, fair treatment to anyone, whoever and whatever they are. So I said, guys, you know, obviously if I was black I'd be one of you. And they said, oh fella, you are one of us. I said, what do you mean? They said, well, consider yourself an honorary Panther. And I said, oh, come off it guys, there's no such thing. They said, well, no, not officially, but take the mark of the Panthers and you're one of us. And that's what I did. And I'll show you this, guys. You can see I didn't have this done yesterday. I don't know if you can see that, guys. I am an honorary Black Panther. And that's how it went. And yeah, that was good guys, and just causes and all the rest of it. And so I've got further evidence. I've got photos of Geronimo Pratt with Park in Africa, and a lot of people have said that I seen he's getting near to the truth, where that's putting Park in danger. The fact he's alive, we're providing evidence of that. You know, if the agencies, whoever are after him, we're putting him in danger. And there's a lot of truth to that, so there's only so far we can go. We can point you to evidence, you know, that he's still around, and do your own research, and you'll find the truth. The Panther guys, you know, they couldn't praise me enough. They said, you know, you're an honorary Panther in our hearts and souls. And you know, I got the Black Panther tattoo as a mark of respect to the guys, to say, look, you know, yeah, I'm honoured to be one of you. And Panthers were getting ahead of the game. They'd seen how the agencies work, multiple ploys, diversion tactics, and fighting with their own weapons, and so we did. There was a fake helicopter incident where Park was supposed to be escaping on a helicopter, and there's a woman involved who was allegedly a witness, Paige Huff, or some other name. She changed the name apparently. Anyway, this Paige woman was actually came forward as a witness to this helicopter incident. All the details are out there on the web, you know, again, look around, do your research. And that was actually part of the Panthers' plan. I tell you, these guys are one step ahead. Basically, with the helicopter incident, the idea was to convince people this was the escape plan, and the authorities were apparently monitoring all helicopter ports and airports. Obviously, a helicopter's got a limited range compared to you know, a normal type aircraft, and there was only a certain radius that that helicopter could come down. And apparently they did fall for the plan, and those helicopter ports, airports within that radius were being monitored. And because that took up all their resources, all the plane flights, and especially because that was a private plane owned by a well-known celebrity, which obviously cannot at any time be divulged, unless he himself, well, I've said he's a man, I've gave that away now, unless he himself come forward with that information, that will never come out. But yeah, brilliant plan. We fooled the authorities. They were monitoring all the near field landing places, and the plane was gone. Brilliant. So guys, you know, this I don't want this video to be too long. I will be doing another video. I will be bringing forward more further actual evidence, pictures of Tupac with Geronimo Pratt in Africa, and yeah, watch this space. We'll do it as soon as we can. Like I say, a lot of this evidence is we have to consider before we release it. The impact, the possible danger that could put people in. Park himself, that's very true. We can only get so close, and yeah, watch this space, guys. So my brother got word to me. He had contacts probably all over the world, and word got back that the CIA did get information that Tupac had survived. And my brother at the time lived in the USA. He had to go to South Africa, which is where he still is, and there is difficulties with him visiting the USA now. So yeah, the CIA are aware that he survived, so make what you will of that. Hopefully I can follow all this up. I have got further evidence to bring out, all concerning the body and the body double. I've got photographs of Tupac with Geronimo Pratt. My brother's in possession of them. I'm now in the process of getting them transferred over. And yeah, there's more to come. Like I say, we have to consider everything we release. We can't just put Park in danger willy-nilly. There's other people involved on the periphery, with possible criminal charges and all the rest of it, myself included. I did hear a rumour through a barrister that the American government were considering extradition treaties with the UK, considering me. I think that's just nonsense, but who knows in this crazy age. I'm still looking into that one. The last thing I want is to have an extradition thing hanging over my head. So, you know, I've got to be careful, and for me and for other people. So, yeah, we'll be bringing more proof. Watch this space. Me and my brother were tasked with taking footage of the MGM and the surrounding area. I've actually provided Iceni with this original footage. He's transferred it into digital format, and on that night, 7th September, me and my brother, and there was other guys involved, we got this footage, obviously to check out possible assailant routes and paths and methods and all the rest of it. With my brother's security background, we were, and the people he knew, we were well equipped to do this, and provided this footage to Iceni. So this is just part one of proof to prove my connections to who I'm saying I am and what I was involved in. So we'll have a quick look at that footage now. You wouldn't have seen it anywhere before. This is my footage. I say mine, the group of people who are involved in providing this footage to the Black Panthers for security purposes. They had wind. There was a hit out on Pac from a higher level than the usual sources from the previous 2 attempts on his life. And again, there could have been more possible attempts that were bungled or failed or whatever. Anyway, so we'll have a quick look at that footage. This is my first little bit of proof. We'll get on to deeper proof about Tupac's survival and all the rest of it. So we'll have a look at that now. This is footage from the daytime outside the MGM, and I actually took this footage myself. So what I'm doing is laying the background to my information to prove who I am, evidence that I was actually there. People have doubted who I am and all the rest of it, and it seems a bit far out. This guy from the UK is involved in all this, and the reason again why I'm involved, and we'll get into that a bit later, but it's basically because no one else could be trusted and I was unknown. So that
guy, you just have to look at the body. If there's a body, there's corpus delicti, and that's just not the rule, Your Honor.
This concept means. For example, I confess that this morning, as I was driving into work, I killed someone on 3rd and Lewis Avenue. All right, now let's say there's no body ever found, there's no video, there's nothing. It's only my statement that I killed someone that makes this crime exist. However, here, that is not, in this case, that isn't the case. There is corpus delicti because Mr. Shakur was shot and eventually passed away from his injury, and an autopsy was completed.
Some even question whether Tupac was really cremated the day after he died, reportedly before an autopsy could be conducted. Why were plans for a big public funeral all of a sudden scratched?
Away from his injury, and an autopsy was completed. His death was determined to be homicide by gunshot wound, and ultimately, it's a situation where the crime has been established. That a murder occurred because of the body of Mr. Shakur. So I will deny it on those grounds. Regarding the
Some even question whether Tupac was really cremated the day after he died, reportedly before an autopsy could be conducted. Why were plans for a big public funeral all of a sudden scratched?
A private memorial service was held for Tupac on a secluded beach in Malibu. Some of his ashes were scattered into the sea.
We threw all the gifts in the ocean for him, and we threw the chicken wings and the Hennessy and his favorite pictures, jewelry. Everybody brought something. Everybody said a little something. We brought drums and bongos, and people spoke, and we had fires burning. That was his funeral.
Do you think it would be possible to manipulate a photo in such a way that it would seem real, but actually is fake?
Absolutely so. Sure.
So this could be a fake picture?
Could be.
Some even question whether Tupac was really cremated the day after he died, reportedly before an autopsy could be conducted.
So this could be a fake picture?
Could be. I don't think it is. Because I see everything here that I saw at the time of the autopsy.
He was, from the time that I got there, he was in a coma. But all of us, every one of us, there was many people in his family and his friends and his colleagues who came, and during the 6 days we allowed people to speak to him, because even if he was leaving, I thought it was important that he know that all of these people cared about him, and they came to wish him everything well and to give him good energy. And that was the best thing for me, that they could, because they say that when you're in that state that you can hear. It's possible that you can hear. So if it was possible that he could hear, I wanted him to hear what people thought of him, people that did care for him. And that's what he heard in his last hours, is many people who cared for him, telling him just that.
Rumors. In the years since rapper Tupac Shakur's death, you've heard them all. Or have you?
First they say he was dead at the hospital, then they say he just fucked out the hospital.
What are some of the rumors that you've heard about Tupac?
That he's still alive.
You believe him?
Yeah, I believe him.
But why do people believe Tupac is still alive? Perhaps the biggest reason, his last CD, entitled Makeveli. In ancient times, Makeveli was an Italian philosopher who suggested the best way to escape your enemies, fake your own death. Could Tupac have done this? The San Francisco radio station says more than 500 of its listeners said they saw Tupac in Cuba. Or was it really Cuba? If you're into numbers, Tupac's death should be an even bigger mystery. Take a look at some information from a Detroit News article. It indicates Tupac was shot 7 months after his All Eyes on Me CD hit the record stores. He was shot September 7. Add the digits of his age when he was shot, and they add to 7. Even the precise time of his death, 4:03, adds to the number 7. And the subtitle of his Makeveli album is The 7-Day Theory.
If you really did, I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
You know, a lot of people say, well, God
gonna judge me. I got a 45-inch bullet in my head, into my skull by grabbing Tupac, pulling him down. That's really what happened. The second part of it is this. People know what happened at the end of the day. You got an individual on there and said, okay, we did this shooting. You know, Puffy was there, Biggie was there. He was already paid for to kill Tupac. This how it happened. And they break everything down to the T. And I'm saying to myself, people say, well, damn, if this dude told the feds and everybody that he's a rip or a former rip out of Compton and they killed Tupac, why didn't he go to jail for murder? Then maybe the question is that Pac really not dead. Pac somewhere else, and maybe they get over. Maybe I mean, it's the truth if you really look at it.
Did you see Tupac dead?
Nobody's seen Tupac dead. The thing is this: the person who supposedly cremated Tupac, who his mother wanted done quickly, if he passed. So this guy got about $3 million personally from me, cash. And next thing I know, I never heard from the guy since again. He retired and left.
I think it would be possible to manipulate a photo in such a way that it would seem real, but actually is fake.
Absolutely so.
Sure.
So this could be a fake picture?